Hey, my kings and queens, how we doing today, my loves? Baby, I'm going to talk to you like a friend would. If you are a man or a woman that has a lazy person in your house, get rid of them. If you are the one that's actually paying all the bills and pulling the weight around there, get rid of them. They are dead weight. They do not need to be with you. You are a worker, you're a provider in some type of way. There is no purpose for them. They're just there as a liability, okay? There was so many lazy people apparently in the Bible because there's so many scriptures that speak about laziness. But one that really stuck out to me particularly was Proverbs 10:4, which says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Let me tell you something about my little past. When I initially got with my husband, he was working and everything was all good. But because he was so distracted by trying to cheat on me every chance he got, I ended up pulling the weight of the finances at the end of it because his focus was gone. And when you're a child of the Most High God, one thing he's going to do is he's going to make sure that you stay afloat. But if there's some type of betrayal in your house or whatever the case may be, your house is not going to flourish. So my ex had ended up losing his job due to him spiritually not being faithful to our household and not providing. So he told me that he basically he didn't want to get another job. He didn't want to pay for nothing. So the burden of the situation fell on me. Constantly still praying to God, of course, still asking God to be the provider of the household. But God wanted me to see the bigger picture of the fact that there was no reason for him to be there anymore. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. And that's to be the provider of the house. I now had became the provider of the household, which was okay, but it was not actually ordained that way in a kingdom household, okay? And so I'm saying that to say this. If you are a woman and you got a man who refused to provide for your household, he don't need to be there. He actually need to be replaced with a real man. Okay, a big dog. One that actually knows his position in your home. You don't need to be treating that person as if they are a king when they actually are nothing close to a king. They're a mouse. You never could put a crown on a mouse's head because his head is too small. You can only put a crown on a king's head because his head can hold it, because he's big. And if you men got a woman that is lazy, that can't even do the bare minimum, and you are providing for her, you need to get rid of her and get you a woman that you're equally yoked with that can actually add value to your household. There's nothing wrong with a woman that doesn't work, but she needs to be able to have some type of skills, if you will. And I ain't talking about just laying on her back. I'm not talking about that. She needs to be able to at least maintain a home, be able to provide some type of sustenance for you when you're working, be able to actually take care of children and educate them in some type of way so your children can grow up very smart. Be able to, at least sit there and pray for you and make sure that she is your emotional support. Make sure that you are taken care of sexually as well. But it needs to be a combination of skills that she needs to be able to have. Okay? So get rid of these lazy people that don't add any value to your life, and replace them with someone that is valuable. And the only way you will be able to do that is if you are valuable yourself. Because value attracts value. So you might want to think about, are you even valuable? Because if you're attracting something that is less than value, then you might need to actually be alone until you figure out your value. I'll talk to you later, kings and queens.